Joining us live in the studio tonight is former federal prosecutor Duane Deskins. Thanks for being here on Prime. So the investigation found that he violated multiple state and federal laws, as well as the policy among his own office. So outside of the political ramifications, what are the legal ramifications? Because it doesn't appear that he's going to be criminally charged, right? Is this just going to be in the civil realm?
So these are, first of all, again, 11 courageous victims who came forward against the governor, 2-term governor of New York. Very dangerous and very hard thing to do. But they have made out a case for simple assault on a criminal level, which doesn't carry with it very many consequences. But there is a chance that Letitia James could file a civil case on behalf of the people of New York. As the sitting governor, he represents all the people and all of their interests. The pattern and practice involving these 11 women suggest a hostile work environment that's hostile to everybody. And on behalf of the people of New York, she could bring a case. Now, granted, the governor has disputed some of the allegations, maybe even a majority of them. But we have courts and we have juries. And if he wants to contest the charges, they should bring him to court and file the appropriate charges and vindicate the rights of the people of New York against the governor. And also, if there are victims here, these 11 women, vindicate their rights as well. A report is simply, as they say about a grand jury, anybody can indict a ham sandwich. But the point of it is, you have the power of the Attorney General's office in New York. Use it on behalf of these women to show that the government has engaged in wrongdoing going back a while. And even the cynical nature of having just enacted a law 2 years ago, making it more difficult for people to push back against these kinds of charges, suggests that it is now the time to say, let's put it to work against the governor who promoted it.
This was a 5-month investigation, 74,000 documents, emails, text messages, pictures. Still, though, he is standing firm. He's denied that he ever did anything inappropriate, that he ever touched anyone inappropriately. What recourse does he have to fight this? So
if I was his lawyer, and I'm sure he's getting good legal advice from a battery of lawyers, is one, he probably, as most politicians are like to think that they can persuade anybody of anything, I'd probably tell him to stop talking. The second thing, I would push for a trial, a hearing, a way to get a more balanced approach where you have his lawyers and the state's lawyers or these individual women's lawyer fighting over the evidence and making sure that it's balanced so that people not just understand what he is alleged to have done, but there's a perception that it is fair to both sides and that justice and the truth came out. And I think that that's what people probably at the end of the day would really like. And then once all of that is resolved, then I think the people know the truth of it. And his career will be whatever his career is at the end.
He sat with investigators. He answered questions under oath. Will any of that ever become public?
Depends on the circumstances under which he said it. You recall the most recent case of the actor Bill Cosby, who gave a statement to the DA under conditions that he would never be used. It depends on what the conditions were, not just for the victims, but also for the governor, that they got him to testify. I don't know what those conditions were, but if they were something that offered him immunity, as they did in the Bill Cosby case, then you probably won't see it. If they offered him nothing and just said, if you want to make a voluntary statement, which is often the case, people get a chance to, he's free to do so. In the next case, you will see it.
People from his camp, and he himself has said this is politically driven, politically motivated. They're suggesting that Letitia James wants his job. What do you say to that, and do you think that he could use that as an argument?
Well, he was, Andrew Cuomo, the former Attorney General of the state of New York. The prior Attorney General of the state of New York also became governor, albeit briefly, Eliot Spitzer. So there is a certain stepping stone to these things, but I think that the point you want to get to is regardless of whether you think this is going to be in Letitia James's best interest or I do, but the point is she has to exercise the power of the office on behalf of the people of New York. And when the governor of New York is called into question, his behavior is called into question through these 11 different witnesses, creating a hostile work environment that upends the ability of the state of New York to do its business and on behalf of the people. And so you want to bring a case to vindicate their rights, and I say their rights, the rights of the people, but indirectly the rights of these victims.
Duane Deskins, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much. Joining us in studio. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.